Did you know that nature is gay? And also, God is everywhere, but maybe not in the way that you think or have been taught? It's time for your Wild Weekend Devotion with me, Cass Opal, one of your Wild Worship Facilitators. Our opening prayer comes from this book, The Poetry of Presence, and it is called Now is the Time, or Hafiz, translation by Ladinsky. Now is the time to know that everything you do is sacred. Now, why not consider a lasting truce with yourself and God? Now is the time to understand that all your ideas of right and wrong were just a child's training wheel to be laid aside when you finally live with veracity and love. Hafiz is a divine and an envoy whom the beloved has written a holy message upon. My dear, please tell me, why do you still throw sticks at your heart and God? What is it in that sweet voice inside that incites you to fear? Now is the time for the world to know that every thought and action is sacred. This is the time for you to deeply compute the impossibility that there is anything but grace. Now is the season to know that everything you do is sacred. Everything you do is sacred. As I said at the beginning of this video, I believe in God. I know not everybody does, and I think that that is okay. I think God speaks to us in whatever way we are capable of listening or willing to listen. To some, that is the God of Christianity. To some, that is the God of Judaism. To some, that is the God of Islam. To some, that is the God of Buddhism, or there's not really a God of Buddhism, but that inner enlightenment. It's a connection to spirit. When I was a very small child, I had an epiphany experience. I was laying on the ground. I was probably about 8 years old, in a spot of light, just sunning myself like a cat, when all of a sudden the light warmed and got so bright, and I didn't open my eyes, but what I knew beyond anything, I knew it more than I knew my own name, I knew it more than I knew my own family. I knew there was a God, a spirit of love, and I was a beloved child of that God. And in that moment, I knew beyond anything else that God was love and God existed. I have never doubted for a moment of my life that God exists. I have doubted that mankind has gotten God right in his various books, but I have never doubted the existence of the spirit of love that I felt as a child. Honestly speaking, it is probably what helped me survive the darkest times of my life through homelessness and addiction, sexual assault, and exclusion from community. If it weren't for the fact that I knew I was a beloved child of God, that I was loved and I knew that love, I do not believe I would have survived. Now, I think everybody approaches God in their own manner, from their own heart, in what speaks to them. I know in my darkest times, music spoke to me and called me to stay on this earth. And that is how I believe God spoke to me and brought me back when I was drifting. I don't purport to know what the right answers for God are, or even the right verbiage. I don't know if God is the right word or spirit. We all use different verbiage, and instead of letting ourselves use that verbiage and use those experiences to bring us together, we instead argue over who's right, whose book is right, whose feeling is right, whose experience is right, and I don't think that any of us know what's right. It is our interpretation of that which we cannot understand. I have always known the God of love existed. I just haven't always known the right term to assign to what that God is. And I know at Wild Worship Omaha, we focus on the God that is everywhere, the God that is in every leaf and every tree and every human face, in the addicted, in the immigrant, in the LGBTQ plus community. God is in all of us. We are God. And if we treated each other a little better, a little like the vision of God we see in front of us, maybe we wouldn't have such divisive rhetoric, such exclusionary practices. that we would practice the God of love to each other. Now it's Pride Month, and of course I also started this video with nature is gay because it is. Gender is a construct, a societal designed to keep us in hegemonic boxes. But we were not meant for little hegemonic boxes. We, like nature, are meant for diversity. Biodiversity exists everywhere. And in nature, honestly speaking, there are gay birds, gay bighorn sheep. There are gay penguins. There are literal fish in the ocean that will change their sex. There are transgender fish. Nature is gay. Humanity and nature are diverse, and we should honor that instead of letting it divide us. I would like to end this devotion with a prayer. Creator of the wild and wonderful, you knit this world together with fierce diversity and fluid grace. You made the rainbow not just as a sign of promise, but as a celebration of holy difference. Today we pause to listen, not just with our ears, but with our whole being. We listen to the wind that doesn't ask permission to change direction. We listen to the birds who sing in their own dialects, and the wildflowers that bloom wherever they please. We honor the queer beauty of this world, from the sea creatures who shift gender in the deep, to the fungi connecting life underground, to the people, your people, whose love and identities refuse to be confined. Nature doesn't fit into neat boxes, and neither do we. Thank you for a creation that comes out over and over again, in color, in boldness, in joy. Make us good listeners to the wild ones, the exiled ones, the ones who've been told they don't belong, and remind us again that we do. In this sacred place, under open sky and rooted ground, we find you, not in spite of our queerness, but through it. Amen, and happy Pride. You are a beloved, beautiful child of creation, as you are.